Hey guys, this is Tara Macklin. I'm popping in here today to talk to you guys about a technique that I've mentioned before in one of my previous videos that helps me manage through some emotions and some proper mindset things. Um, as an athletic trainer, it's not uncommon for me to work with sports, and mindset in a lot of these games is everything. So, why wouldn't people consider using mindset for themselves in their own daily things? Honestly, mindset at the end of the day, with a lot of these games, especially at the level of college sports that I work with, is literally everything. So if you're going to rock in whatever your goals are that are in front of you, why not put mindset to work for you? So this is the technique that I use. It's called AFT. And it does involve essential oils in this process. If you're not an essential oil user, keep listening, because at the end of the day, it's really going through the steps. That's probably the biggest part of this. While I do feel that smell plays a big key part into this process, because if you really think about the end of the day, think about your the holidays or whatever, and there's like maybe grandma is making like a pumpkin pie, it'll take you back to another memory. So while oils do play a part and the positive smells can play a part into this process, it's not the end of the world if you don't have them. So let's walk through the steps a little bit together. And actually, I want to run you through one scenario here real quick, just to prove my point that mindset is really everything. So I, again, work in college athletics. I'm an athletic trainer. And as a working with the women's basketball team, we a lot of times will play teams that are nationally ranked. And they will come to our gym and we will play them. And there's one game in particular that really stands out. So we had this team, they're like, I think they were ranked like 11 in the nation or something like that. And they come in, and the way that their presence was in their gym was like our gym was their home gym. And our women's basketball team was ticked. This was not okay with them whatsoever. That was their gym, that was their home territory. And that was their mindset that they were going to defend their home territory. They went into that game, balls to the wall, and won the game. We were by far clear underdogs. We had no ranking whatsoever at the time. And I'm telling you, mindset is by far your biggest hurdle to ever work through on any goal that you have set out in front of yourself. So this is why I love this technique. It really helps me when I'm really emotionally down, when I'm working on skill sets, or working on any kind of particular goal or intention, and I'm struggling with it from a mental perspective, and then I just get myself in a really bad funk. I'll pull out this book and walk myself through some AFT. So here's how it works. One, you're going to set your intention. And a lot of people use the word intention and goal universally. I like the word intention, so we're going to use the word intention here. But we'll set our intention. So maybe say we're rocking a new business and our big goal is to make 10 connections for the month for our business. And you're going to rate that at whatever that might be. So, and the way that I like to phrase it, I like to make sure I put some ownership in it. So I find my 10 people for my business by August of 2020, because that's the time that I'm doing this recording. So giving myself some concrete timelines, some numbers, some things to really make it like a solid thing. Then I'm going to kind of fill that out. How does that feel? Do I feel like that's pretty likely? Am I going to rate that around a 10? Like, yeah, that's totally 100% doable. Or am I going to give that like a 0? Like, dude, I'm just starting this business. I have no idea where to start. So maybe I'm going to put that as 0. If you're rating this towards a 10, this is probably not an intention you need to work on through this technique. Find yourself an intention that's going to stretch yourself. It could even be something like, it doesn't even have to be business related. It can be a personal attribute, like I'm going to run a 5K, or I am going to reduce my weight by like 10 pounds. And by, I don't know, say November of 2020, whatever that needs to be. So give yourself a little bit of stretch, give yourself a little bit of something to work to, so that way you can kind of effectively give it a really good rating. Then you're going to kind of listen to your body. And yes, listen to your body for emotions. So if you've ever, like I'm someone who struggles with anger, when I get angry, I mean, I can tell you exactly where I feel that at in my body. It's right around my liver, and my hands are getting tight and I'm making fists, or I just want to just somebody. So these are things that you'll want to kind of feel in your body. If the intention you've set upon yourself and you're rating that down like at a 1, maybe you're sad, maybe your shoulders are slumped forward, maybe you're getting like a sensation in your ribs, whatever it might be. Even if it sounds or seems like an odd thing to kind of equate it to, write it down, take note of it. You're going to try to give yourself an emotion that goes with that. Sad, angry, frustrated, overwhelmed. Numb could also be one. You can have positive emotions. Maybe you're excited. That is a possible thing to find. But now, as we work through it, in particular, if we're dealing with lower numbers, and you could still get some of this in the higher numbers too, is what negative voices are maybe holding you back. Maybe this is going to take you back to some older memory, but in the moment, what are the negative things that come to mind? So if we're going back to maybe say our weight reduction, then this might be something like, well, you've never lost weight before. Why would this start now? Or you've failed the 5 other times you've tried to do this. So listen to what kind of pops first thing in your mind. Write those things down. And then you're going to think back to a time where maybe you felt this way before. And it doesn't necessarily have to relate back to the intention that you're working on. Maybe you failed at some other thing, like, I don't know, was there maybe a math test that kind of stood out to mind, or some girl you tried to ask out and that felt like a big failure to you. So whatever that might be, think back to the last time or a memory that comes to mind where you felt this same way that you feel right now when you're thinking about this intention. Make note of it. Now, this is usually where the oil comes into play. However, again, if you don't have an oil, it's not a big deal. But you're going to sit there and just kind of breathe through it. Let yourself feel what you need to feel. And keep breathing and deep breaths. And eventually, let's see what comes to mind. Do we get any positive things that come to mind? Well, I mean, maybe let's talk about the memory of the girl you tried to ask out and it failed. Well, she wasn't your type. That might be something that comes to your mind. Was that really a big loss anyways at the end of the day? Just kind of see what your body tells you about those things. It might take you a little bit of time to get there, and that's okay. If it's your failure at previous weight losses, well, those weren't the right programs for you. That might be something that comes to mind. You're trying something new this time. It may work. So just kind of listen to what other positive things might come into play. And as you work through the positive things, make note of them, write them down. Once you get through that motion, you're going to start this process all over again. You're going to do this 2 to 3 more times. The numbers may go up, the numbers may go down as you work on reading off your intention and rating them as you go through the process. That is how it is, and sometimes the numbers go down, and that's okay too. This is just a tool helping you work through the process. Once you've gone through all the steps and you feel like you've gotten yourself into a good place, you've worked through enough cycles that you feel like you've gotten yourself into a pretty positive mindset about it. Usually they roughly say to end around, 8s, 10s. Those are some really good numbers to want to be around by the time you've worked through it. Then this is where you're going to come up with your positive affirmation. And again, I know this sounds woo-woo for some people. And guys, I'm telling you, the more positive self-talk you give yourself, the better place you're going to have yourself in. I promise you guys, this stuff works. So giving yourself a positive affirmation about what your goal is. Maybe it's, I am successful in working on my weight reduction. I am successful in finding 10 people to talk to about my business. I am worthy of my success. This is one that I work on myself. There could be a slew of things, but you're going to get up, you're going to state them in a positive pose, Front of the mirror is even better when you're looking at yourself in the eyes, because you're making connection with the light that comes in and out of your body through your eyes. And say these affirmations, and say them often. Say them multiple times a day. Say them at least once a day, just to help get your mind right. Guys, this doesn't have to be anything crazy. No one's talking about convincing themselves they're going to make $1 million in a month. But what we are working on is working on positive mindset and things to reinforce positive mindset. If our women's basketball team didn't go in there and go all out and have they could have really gone into that basketball game in a negative mindset. Oh, that team's nationally ranked. We're going to lose to them in our own gym. That's exactly what could have happened. And that's mindset, guys. So even just, they had it in their head that this team, this was their gym, and this is our home place, and we were going to defend it. The same thing can happen with the intentions that you set in front of yourself. So as woo-woo as this sounds to some people, give it a try. Try it. Don't just try it one day and just write it off. Try it. Do the affirmations multiple times throughout and see how you feel. It's a feeling in your body. And once you change the feeling in your body and you change the mindset and you change the way you talk to yourself, the things in front of you are limitless. So with that said, this is Tara Macklin signing off, and I hope you guys have a